and we are going to talk TwoSun today. TwoSun knives. Fancy high-tech box, what can I tell you? Yes, indeed. I write on it because, well, the model number's on the blade, right? They're doing that now. So the 403 right here in D2, Wong design, all that. But you got to take it out of the box first. And I got a bunch of TwoSun knives in boxes, so I want to be able to look on the outside and say, what is it? So they don't put a label on there, you know, with the specific model number or anything. So I do that. They come in these boxes. It's been the same boxes for years now. They first started out, they didn't even have this over the top. They just had TwoSun printed on the plain cardboard. But now they got this fancy slip cover that they started doing probably 4 or 5 years ago. Liner lock. This is weird, isn't it? This is a Wong design. So, you know, if you don't think it's right, it's got to be Wong. And it is. It's Wong. But it's not Wong to buy it. It's good to buy it. And this is liner, so this is not a frame lock. It's like, what? But I mean, in a way, it's kind of a frame lock, isn't it? Because, like, if you tore everything off of it, then all you'd have is this. So it'd be a frame lock. That makes sense, doesn't it? No, but I mean, you see what I'm saying. This is kind of just a piece that's an overlay here. Otherwise, it's really a frame lock. But, okay, I get you. And we will disassemble this because it looks kind of interesting, although it doesn't look complex. And let's take all the hairs off of it. Stonewash blade D2. Now, I know I'm hold on. Silence, moment of silence for all the bitching and moaning. Why are they using D2? Come on, man. Why aren't they doing at least 14C? Okay, I get you. I agree, too. I mean, this would be 14C, yeah. And really something where they've gone to the effort to do this, and it's titanium and stuff. M390, and just hike it up. White Mountain Knives is it's available, or was when I pulled this piece of paper, but I've had this a few weeks, so God only knows. $99.99 D2, but that's a lot of titanium and some anode, titanium pocket clip, and number 8 screws, and this and that. So, yeah, the way prices are going on knives, screw it. And 10% off. So $10 off. So basically $89, and then there's no tax or shipping. So $89. Yeah, I think I can buy that. I think I did buy that. But 8 inches overall length, and really a 2.87 inch, 5.15. Okay. So that was my biggest concern when I got it. And I think when I posted this on my Instagram, there was a guy saying, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of freaking me out. Look at this. I mean, blade to handle length. I think we could have, here's the thing. I guess you'd need to get in and do some redesigning because of the way this wraps around here. So it's ingressing, it's coming in onto this area. So how much longer can you really, truly make that blade? And you know what? That's a good question. Could you do another 1/4 inch? Could it have been a 3 1/4? Because most 8-inch knives be around 3.5 inch blade, right? And so this is a 1/2 inch or more shy of that. Now, regardless of the blade size, you got to give it some handle length because you need people to be able to get all their fingers wrapped around this. So regardless of how short the blade is, you still got to give homage to those people who need to put a human hand around here for, So, okay, so does it look disproportionate? And then one guy responded to the other guy that was talking about disproportionate or whatever and going, You know, really, I've had one for several weeks and blah, blah, blah. And they were saying, you know, how they really liked it and how it's just more and more sensible as they use it, et cetera, et cetera. You know, and this doesn't look, I mean, this is not like a Paramilitary 2 or something that's just ultra sensible blade shape necessarily. Okay, so I get that. But, I mean, a bit of a flight of fancy maybe here and there, but not an expensive one, and definitely good materials, and I like the workmanship. I've heard people say here and there, well, sometimes the QC's not quite where it needs to be and all this. Okay, I guess I've been lucky. I mean, I really haven't had issues with my TwoSun knives. I mean, the screws come in and out. They don't strip. They don't fall out. They, you know, disassembly, reassembly's not a problem. They're centered. There's no blade player lock rock. They're solid that way. I mean, if somebody else put some, you know, name brand name guy, put their name on this knife, you know this would be, of course, you put S35VN on this, you take that off and it's some, you know, other guy, you know it's going to be close to $300, right? So I think they're still pretty much a big damn bargain. And they come up with so many interesting, you know, designs. Because they have Wong, they got Jerry Jelly, they got Tepe, they got, I mean, on and on, RHIE or RIH, whatever. And I probably got it right the first time. And all those guys. I mean, just tons of people that are really creative and doing some good stuff. So this is always interesting from that aspect. Jimped. You like this big round? I mean, this is cool. This is cool. And to a degree, it kind of strikes me as like an NOC type of pivot, right? And NOC knives are big, wonky, crazy things. Yeah, to a degree. But now this is way cool and how much is opened up and visible through here. The pocket clips following this little bar. It's really nicely done. And you got this little, whatever you want to call that, lightning strike or storm anno or whatever on the titanium. But, I mean, actually, it drops nicely. Can you finger flick it? Yeah. Just like that. So you've got ambidextrous thumb studs in there. They're definitely not way up here, are they? They're kind of down here. And so, you know, another thing about that being the case, I mean, the further they are up here, the more they're going to be out of the way of whatever media you're cutting through. If you're cutting through something that's kind of thick and gooey or whatever, you know what I mean? And you want the thumb stud to stay up and out of the way. So it's not here, okay? It's not. So, but they're nicely machined, aren't they? But then again, I don't see this as Mr. Sensible utility knife anyhow, but I think you could use this in certain kind of situations, cutting, you know, just like cardboard or other things. It'd be just fine doing that. So, okay. Very, very strange. Not too delicate on the tip here. And this sucker, well, let me see. I'm kind of curious about the blade stock. Is it 3mm or is it thicker than that? Yeah, it's thicker than that. It's 3.6mm at 0.14, so that's not very usual anymore. It used to be more the case, but not now. 0.56 at 14.3. Let me see. Did I get all the way over here? Yeah. So that's the fattest part with this, you know, sitting on top of this part here, because comes in a little bit from there, right? Yeah, 0.49 at 12.5 here. So this is a fatter area than this titanium above it. But yeah, it is a little wonky, I guess, if you want to put it that way, blade to handle. But here is how I, you know, look at it, it's 3 1/4 and 8 overall. So I don't know where they're coming up with. You like this? 2.87? Are we looking at the same knife? Hello? Okay. Did I make a mistake here? Did my... So no, I mean, if this was a 3-inch blade, and maybe they're talking about cutting length. Yeah, cutting length's 2.87. Okay, so that's what they're talking about. And that's not kind of how I roll. It could be 3 1/4. I mean, it's really close to 3 1/4, about 81 millimeters. And right under 8, like 7.87 if you want to say it, or somewhere in there. Overall length. So maybe not as, not as disproportionate as you might think if you read the numbers over there. And that's important because, yeah, if you're just talking about cutting edge coming up to this little choil, well, that's a whole different thing than you're sitting way back in here. So, okay. Nah. I mean, it looks wonky, though, when it comes in here, but a lot of the cleaver blades, I mean, if you looked at cleaver knives, you've ever folded them up, it looks like they're way short of the end of the handle, but then you start pulling them up, and, you're exposing that it's not quite as short as it looked when it was fully folded. You know what I'm saying? So, there is that. But no, as far as that's concerned, let's just take this piece of lying propaganda and cut it. And, okay, now, oh, what did we hit? Must have been a huge staple in the middle of there. Just kidding. So, hold on. Give me a shot at it. Give me a shot. There we go. There we go. So, yeah, I was going, what am I? Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm trying to cut with this choil area. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Okay, yeah. You got to use the actual sharpened part of the blade. Get over here. Okay, so that might be a concern if you're cutting things as well. Just stay on the damn sharpen, because if you're going to try and take a full shot and then you start here, did you see me rip that when I was doing that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, never mind. Get over here. Okay. There you go, factory edge. Yeah, factory edge. It's good. It's good. It's not bad. Be interesting to know what the Rockwell is. I've tested these in the past. I think they were definitely in the green zone. But anymore, it never hurts to hit it once every year or two just to kind of confirm how are they doing it. I'm sure they probably haven't changed their protocol much from the old days. And I usually, or in many of my videos, I have the link down there to our Rockwell and PMI information, XRF analyzer information, So you can look at D2 TwoSun knives and see what they've traditionally tested out as. And I'll make sure the link's down there. All right, let's tore it apart and see if we can see what we can do here. Because, I mean, as far as the ergos go, it's okay depending on the size of your hand, okay? See what I'm saying? It might be squeeze you in there a little bit with this here, right? So you might want to kind of lay back like this. Of course, you can rock up on this thing way up in here if you want. And so now you do have plenty of room for all your fingers if you want to choke up like that, because it does give you an area to do that. But the detent is where it needs to be, especially, see, yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, you don't want it too tough if you're going to want to thumb flick it or finger flick it. But no, I think they got it set just right. Let's see, do we got number 8s on here? Yeah. Are we going to let me open it? Maybe. Little something on there, but not much. And what do we got? Where's our other screw? That's it? Is that it? Okay. Okay, there's that. Is that it? Is that going to be all? All she wrote, folks? Okay. So we got titanium pocket clip. Here it is. It's a lovely thing. It really is. And let's see what we got here. Holy cannolis. Oh, I know you. Let me see what we are going to do about this then. Because, okay. So we got the lock bar in here. This is interesting. And no. Now, hold on. Where's my magnet? Where's my magneto? Okay. I was going, they don't have a hardened steel insert on that. They don't need to. It's steel. Okay. So, you got titanium, but they put a steel lock bar on there. And they're mounting it, holding it down with these 2 screws. So, okay. So we all good with that. And there's a pocket clip where that mounts. And then this just lays over it, doesn't it? So 2 screws and it holds the whole thing together. That's pretty loco. That's nice and light. There's a steel washer with the race on it. There you go. Bingo bango. Like that. What else we got? Then we got the back spacer. And that looks good. And there's a little pin that kind of, locates it in here so it doesn't, you don't have to drive a screw through there to do that. And here comes the screw from the back side. Thank you. Appreciate the help. Okay. Now, ceramic bearings and everything's falling apart. Ah, hell with it. Just let it go. Okay, so here's the front. So it looks like captured pivot, right? Squared off, all that kind of gobbledygook. And it is, because it's squared off right there. You can see. And then here's your pivot surround. Now, I think that might be titanium. Yeah, it is. The pivot surround is titanium. Yeah, because there's nothing here. Okay. And there's nothing magnetic here except for this washer. So washer, there's your outside presentation side, your blade, your back spacer, and all that, but nothing very complex, is there? Just 2 screws, and it just starts unstacking. All right, we're back with the TwoSun TS403. Mr. Wong designed this, and so obviously there's nothing wrong with it. And it is what it is, but it's a bit of a flight of fancy. I get it, and I don't have a problem with that. Personally, it maybe looks a little disproportionate blade to handle length, but you're talking about a 3.2 inch blade, 7.85 overall length. It's not as disproportional as you might think by looking at the numbers on the paper. So we'll leave you to it. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Subscribe to my channel if you wouldn't mind, and stay sharp.